Okay, it's comprehension time, and you will see in your booklet you have the story A Walk on the Moon. So I'm going to read it like we always do, and I'll explain some of the words if we get stuck. Walk on the moon. So you can follow with your piece while I'm reading. So when I get to a word and you don't understand it, I'm probably going to explain it in any case. On 20 July 1969, people all over the world sat and watched their television sets. Two men from Earth had landed on the moon and were about to disembark their spacecraft and step onto the moon's surface. Now, disembark means climbing out. You disembark the car. This is just a fancy word. You're not going to say, Mommy, you need to disembark the car now. You said, get out of the car. Disembark means they're going to leave the spacecraft and they're going to step on the moon's surface. Now, surface is the top layer of something. We're walking on Earth's surface every day. The astronauts, you guys all know the word astronauts, were well equipped. It means they've got all the gear. You will see the picture on your piece as well. They've got all the gear that they need. Their specially designed spacesuits would save them from the great heat outside their spaceship. They had air tanks on their backs that would help them breathe when they walked on the moon. When they were ready, they slowly opened the door of their small spaceship. More than 6 hours after landing on the moon, a grainy black and white picture was transmitted live from the moon. Now, transmitted means they recorded on the moon and then it needs to go via the sound waves all the way to the television via satellite to the television sets. And the television sets, that was 1969. That's 1 year after I was born. They didn't have color TV, so it also made all these little look like snow on the sets. So it wasn't nice and clear, but that's what people were used to, so they were all so excited. It showed a wide shape slowly moving among the shadows as Neil Armstrong exited the lunar module. Now, lunar means moon. Luna is another name for moon, and started to climb down the short ladder. As he put his foot down on the moon, he said, and this is a very famous quote. You can even ask your parents, they will know about it. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. So, although it's a tiny little step for a person to just step down from a ladder down on the moon, it's a giant leap. It means it's a huge discovery for mankind. Neil Armstrong had become the first person to set foot on the moon. Astronaut Edwin E. Buzz Aldrin followed Armstrong down the ladder. He was the second guy. The moon was covered in dust, which stuck to their boots, and there were small rocks strewn about. Now, there's no wind on the moon, so wherever something lands, it stays there. At first, it was not easy to walk on the moon. I wonder if you guys know why. It's because the moon doesn't have any gravity. So when you give a step, you like hopping in the air and you're hanging around. So it might sound like fun, but I think it's quite dangerous and you need to get used to it. So they had these boots on that's got weights in it to keep them on the surface. Otherwise, they will dangle there in mid-air. The astronauts had to get used to the weightlessness. Can you see the two suffixes at the back of being on the moon? If you weigh 60 kilograms on Earth, I think that's about two of you put together, you will weigh only 10 kilograms on the moon. Oh, that's a nice way of dieting. Soon, however, they got used to being so light and began to hop, skip, and jump about. I think you guys would love to do that. It's like zero gravity. But they only had enough air to give them 3 hours on the moon. Now remember, because they didn't know what to expect, they had to be ready to leave the surface, leave the moon as soon as possible, and just gather whatever they need to. There were rocks to collect and tests to be done. When they were finished, they left a message on the dusty ground. It said, "Here, men from planet Earth set foot upon the moon, July 1969. We came in peace for all mankind." Now, they wrote the message like we will draw on the beach, but the waves will wash it away. But on the moon, because there's no wind, you can still see the message there. And they also planted the flag of the United States. And although they discovered and visited moon for the first time, they did it not only for America, they did it for everybody, because everybody now could get some information and learn more about that new place that they discovered. I'm quickly going to read through the questions just for those of you who are not clear about it. Number one, remember when you write in your exercise books that you write your heading and the date as well, just like we do always, and you number your questions. And we start with a capital letter. Oh, lots of you don't do it with capital letters. Write with a capital letter and also start with answer in full sentences. Please, guys, that is so important. Number one, why were people watching TV on 20 July 1969? Now, it sounds like a silly question because probably people were watching television all the time. But this is now one particular day and we just read about it. Number two, why did they wear spacesuits? It's the same type of question. Why would you put on a swimming suit when you go swimming? Why would you put on jogging um, shoes and a tracksuit when you go and visit the gym? So just think logically. Number three, what did they carry on their backs? Not their backpacks, school bags. Think about it and have a look at the picture. There's a hint. Number four, who stepped on the moon first? In other words, give the person's name and what did he say. Now remember, if we use his exact words, we have to take his words and we put it in inverted commas because we quote him. That means I'm putting the inverted comma, I'm writing his exact words, and then I'm closing the inverted commas. If you don't do that, you're stealing his words, so you may not do that. So if you're writing his specific words, you need to put it in quotation marks. Number five. Why was it not easy to walk on the moon? We just chatted about it. Number six, why did they not stay longer? No, it's not that they were scared. Read carefully. Number seven, what was the message they left? Remember, you're going to write it word for word from the passage, this answer. So again, inverted commas. Number eight, why do you think the spacemen wanted to bring rocks back to Earth? To put it on their mantelpiece? To say, oh, look at me, I'm so cool, I've got a piece of the moon. No, there's a very scientific reason for it. Answer properly, guys. You did amazingly with the previous one. But the problem was capital letters and also full sentences. You have to also answer in full sentences. Enjoy it and see you later.